Truth Unveiled here, and today I have some very interesting stuff to share with you. We're going to be going over this week's edition of Time Magazine, and we're going to be talking about some of the cryptic things within it, because as you can see, it even says the end is near, and it shows Mr. Trump and Miss Clinton holding up a sign, but is it really talking about the end of the election, or is it talking about something deeper? Now I've enlarged the cover so you can see it even better, but this is the Time cover that's slated to come out on November 14th of 2016, so just 6 days after the selections, and we're going to be talking more about that and the significance of that date in just a second to come. But as you can see from the actual cover, it shows time hidden behind them, and then it says the end is near, and they're actually holding up a sign and a poster for it, and this is the actual cover. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description box so you can see it too. But I hope you're realizing how the elite and the Illuminati are literally telling us what's to come. They're now just putting it in front of our face, and they're doing it so blatantly now, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But now I'm here at Time Magazine, and I'm at their vault, and we're at the 2016 edition, and the reason that we're here is so that you can see the actual edition, how it's going to look. So if we scroll all the way down to the last one, November 14th, 2016, here is where you can see it. Now it's just interesting and suspicious indeed, because on November 14th, 2016, that's the exact same day of the supermoon, and it's supposed to be the biggest supermoon that's been spotted, the biggest since the year 1948, nearly 70 years ago. And we know that full moons are very symbolic to the Illuminati. It's just more messaging and more Illuminati symbolism, but what does it really mean? But it gets more cryptic than that, because the elite are literally telling you what time it really is. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm showing you this logo right now, because this is the logo that comes from Donald Trump and Mike Pence's campaign, which says "Make America Great Again," even though we know what that really means. But what's very interesting about this is when you look at the logo up close, and when you really take a deeper look at this logo and Trump Pence, there's a message that they're telling us, because you see right here, there's a letter T right there, and what looks to be a letter P or a backwards J, as well as, of course, the stripes right here. There are 4 stripes. Now, when you look at it, it looks very innocent indeed, but let's pronounce that again. Trump Pence? Trumpence? Or more like trumpets? And is it a surprise or a coincidence that this same logo to the left, that is to be the logo for Trump and Mike Pence, is the same logo that just so happens to look like a trumpet if you really flip it and rearrange it? Very interesting and suspicious indeed. I wonder what the elite are trying to tell us here. Does Time Magazine know something that the rest of us don't know? And if they do, what do they know that the rest of us don't know? Is it time for the New World Order? Is it time for the end? Is time almost up? Is that what Time Magazine is implying here? Because that's exactly what it looks like. And we already know darn well that this selection is just a joke and a distraction to be used to do what? To execute more plans behind closed doors, because we're going to be talking about some of the executive orders that have been on the hush hush indeed. But if you actually look at Time Magazine's website, you can find the edition here. As you see, it's from November 14th, 2016, and it's volume 188, number 20, and the edition is called "How the 2016 Election Became a Battle of the Sexes." Yeah, right. Now, like I said, that edition just so happens to be coming out the same day as the largest full moon to be seen, which is also known as a supermoon, in the entire 21st century. No surprise or coincidence there whatsoever. What perfect timing. Like I said earlier, not to mention 6 days after the selections and 3 days after the movie Arrival, which we're going to be going over later on in just a second to come. But this comes from Science Alert, and it says, says we're about to see a record-breaking supermoon, the biggest in nearly 70 years, the closest full moon in the 21st century, and it has not been seen since January of 1948. But it says during the event, which will happen on the eve of November 14th, the moon will appear up to 14% bigger and 30% brighter than an average full moon. This is the closest the moon will get to Earth until 2034, so you really don't want to miss this one. And of course, we know to the elite, this is very symbolic indeed. To the Illuminati, it's very symbolic, but I hope you're awake, alert, and aware to everything that's going on in the world around you. Because the elite are literally telling you what time it is, but the question is, can you see it? Because now they're just literally putting it in front of your face, literally. But I wanted to show you this article from Reuters, which says, Putin ally tells Americans, vote Trump or face nuclear war. But we know darn well that our votes never counted to begin with. The votes are selected and the presidents are selected and not elected. And I can guarantee you they're going to select Hillary Clinton, and when they do, what is it going to cause? Only time will tell. But they're already telling us each and every single day. They've been telling us, but the question is, are we paying attention to it? Now, this is from NBC, which says CIA prepping for possible cyber strike against Russia. And I've gone over this in many of my videos, but I'll reiterate it once again. The reason that they're doing is why? Because they want to demonize Russia to prepare for what? World War III. The Illuminati card games have already told you that and have already predicted programmed it since the 1980s and the 1990s. Very interesting and suspicious indeed. Not only that, but now we're seeing it actually finally manifest. And we know the real reason that the puppet, Miss Clinton, continuously blames Russia on hacking, which is not true. The reason they're doing that is because they want to what? Stir up the war games, because we know the Zionists are the ones who are going to fund both sides of the war, just like George Soros and all those other elite at the top, just like they fund Black Lives Matter and any type of protesting like they want to. Even how they're the ones responsible for the so-called allegations of Donald Trump's fake assassination attempts, not to mention all of the WikiLeaks propaganda as well. It's all propaganda. And then there's also the recent executive orders that Mr. Obama has been signing quietly behind closed doors. And it's not just this one that has to do with the space weapons, but I also went over one a couple of days ago where he also initiated worldwide epidemic, literally. And I'll be sure to leave that information in the description box below if you would like to learn more about these executive orders and what your lovely president is doing and is about to do. Because if you really think he's leaving office, it's time to think again, which is why he's even signed this order to coordinate efforts to prepare the nation for space weather events, in which they're getting ready for space weather events. And not just him, but also all the government organization as well. And notice how it says that it has the potential to simultaneously affect and disrupt health and safety across entire continents, what merging as a new world order. Why even sign something into office like this that's so cryptic and suspicious indeed? Now, it's also no surprise that the Time magazine article is coming out 3 days after the Arrival movie, which has to do with so-called aliens and alien contact and alien communication, and it's being released on 11/11 of all days. Very interesting and suspicious indeed. And we're here at IMDb, and as you can see from the summary, it says a linguist is recruited by the military to assist in translating alien communications. Once again, they're literally telling you right in front of your face, right in front of you, what's exactly to come. More propaganda and more subliminal predictive programming right in our faces. And the better question is, who is really arriving? Because it's not who you think, but there's been other cryptic things that have been spotted too, just like this from ABC when it comes to the Chicago Cubs, who just recently won the World Series. Now this says, creepy 2014 tweet predicted Cubs Indians Game 7 extra innings and then the apocalypse, or was it even a prediction? You decide. But I found it very interesting and suspicious indeed that the tweet even says 2016 World Series, Cubs versus Indians, and then the world will end with with the score tied in Game 7 in extra innings #Apocalypse as of November 4th of 2014, which automatically reminds me of the movie X-Men Apocalypse that was released back of June of 2016. Is that a surprise or a coincidence? Is all of this just mere coincidence? You decide on your own. Please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, because the elite are telling you what's to come. But I hope you see it with both your eyes open, and I hope you're able to read between the lines and see the cryptic predictive programming and see the warning signs ahead of time. But this is Truth Unveiled here, keeping you updated as always and saying shalom.